Hi everyone, it's Tori from Swimming in Sakura, and today I wanted to do a little comparison video for you all of the different B6 Slims from different makers that I have personally tried and currently own. I think these are some of the more popular makers that offer the B6 Slim size. It's definitely not an exhaustive list, I'm sure. I know there's a lot of makers out there. And definitely a variety of others that offer the B6 Slim size, but these are just, from what I've seen, some of the more popular ones, and again, the ones that I have. So this one right here is a Sojourner. This is from Rowena, and this is the B6 Slim size. I think she's kind of credited with making the B6 Slim size really popular. And so this one I use currently to house my Hobonichi Weeks. So that's the other thing I also wanted to show, how each of these notebooks fit the Hobonichi Weeks. So I haven't seen a ton of comparisons out there. I did see a comparison video with the Chic Sparrow and I believe this Sojourner, and the name is escaping me, but I'll link it below. But yeah, I haven't seen too many, so I'm hoping this might be helpful because I'm always on the hunt for a Hobonichi Weeks cover, and I love traveler's notebooks, as you may have noticed from my channel. So yeah, hopefully this will be helpful. I'll also in the description provide like all the dimensions on all of these as well. I don't have them on hand right now, but I'll definitely be sure to put that information below. So this is, like I said, from Sojourner. This is the Roadrunner leather and the Traveler design, which means it has this exterior pocket. There are no pockets on the inside. She didn't offer them when I got it, but I think now she offers it so that you can get this outside pocket and get pockets on the inside. So this one doesn't have any pockets, which is fine. I'm not going to really get into comparisons of the leather because these are all different leathers. I'm no expert, so I just really wanted to compare the sizes and how they work with the Hobonichi Weeks. This one, as you can see, so I have the cover on cover in this one, and I've got the elastics on the front cover as well as on the back cover. I also have this slipped in here as well, but so it's on the front and back cover. And as you can see, I'll push these down so I don't lose my places, but so as you can see, it is like pretty much flush from top to bottom. There might be like a hair of overhang, but it's really virtually non-existent. If you can see that there. Yeah, so you can see like there's this little itty bitty bit of overhang, but that actually, it's like pretty much flush from top to bottom. As far as on the side, if I take this pen out, you can probably see that better. So there is a bit of space. I'm not going to try to estimate measurements because I am terrible at that. But as you can see, there is some of a gap between the end of the weeks and the end of the leather cover, which, you know, the Hobonichi Weeks is not an exact B6 Slim size. I don't really know if there's a standard B6 Slim size, but I think from what I've heard, it's about an inch shorter than the B6 Slim or the regular B6. So I have noticed that different makers tend to size them differently. So this is how that looks in there with it. And again, this is with the cover on cover. So that does add a little bit of extra on the top and the bottom. So that's this one. Let's see. The next one I have, and this was actually the first one I got and kind of what made me realize, I'd seen people say that the B6 Slim fit the Hobonichi Weeks, but this was kind of the first try I had of it, was with Speckled Fawns. This one in particular is the black Kodiak, and it's got a 1-inch spine on it. Really, really nice squishy leather. So let me pull out a notebook, another Weeks for you here. All right, so here is this one. I will go ahead and strap it on the same way. So I'll just do one in the back and one in the front, so you can see how that looks in comparison with the Sojourner. So again, this one is also like a pretty exact fit. Let me see if I can tuck these away again so you can see that better. This one is also flush top to bottom. Oh, sorry. I can see it, but you can't, and that's not helpful. So there's no overhang. They're super flush, which is really nice. The only downside for me is having this reinforced spine, which you can request to not have the reinforced spine, so it's really a simple solution there. I just didn't know at the time. You do have to make sure to request that though, because it does come automatically. But yeah, there's actually even, I think, a little bit of extra leather. So it's flush here at the bottom, and then there's a little tiny extra on the top. So this fits perfectly. You are going to have to stretch your elastics, because if you can see how they kind of stretch out, so they're a little bit taller. But it also covers the pen. If you take the pen out, you do have a little bit of extra. It does look a little different again because of the spine. So you're not seeing like the full, if there wasn't a spine, there would probably be more leather to hang over. But you have some extra room, which works perfectly for the pen. If you keep the cover on and you have a pen loop in there, it's like pretty flush. And this is the Sakura Micron, so it's not a super thick pen, but yeah, so that's that. That fits very nicely in there, but you do need to have some other things going on in here so that you don't get this gap. Unless that doesn't bother you, then you probably don't need to do that. You could center this on here as well, and it might not be so obnoxious. So let's see. I'm gonna try that. So if I do, I just did the first and the last elastic so that it's centered. And there is still a little bit of a gap, but it's pretty evened out. So that is an option as well. And then I'm going to take this out so I can show you this in another one. Then my most recent addition is the Chic Sparrow. This is the B6 Slim Chic Sparrow. This is a classic, and it's the Pemberley. Which is really nice. And this one seems to be just a tad bit shorter. So let me show you what I mean. Let me stretch the elastics. So with this one, I have it flush on the bottom, and my Weeks does, so I have the cover on still. So if without the cover on cover, I'll show you in a second, but with the cover on cover, you do have some sticking out. Let's see if I can, there we go. And you can see the elastics are coming up over the notebook too. So it's flush on the bottom. And with this one, you have the most room between the end of the Weeks widthwise and the notebook itself. So as you can kind of see here, how much extra room you have. Because I know that Chic Sparrow does cut their notebooks a bit wider to allow you to stuff them and not have the overhang, which is great, but just for comparison's sake of the Weeks, that's how that looks in there. So let me then also show you how these look without the cover on cover. So give me 1 second and we pull some things apart and get it ready for you guys. Okay, so the other thing, this is my old Hobonichi Weeks, and so it doesn't have the cover on cover on it or anything. So I'll just show you really quickly how this looks in these books without the clear cover on cover. Let's just do, we'll just center it again. So without the cover on cover, this one is obviously there's going to be a little bit more room on the top and the bottom. The width is pretty much going to be the same. Could like tuck a pin in there still just fine. But that's how that one looks. There's that. See if you can see. And then on the Sojourner B6 Slim, without the clear cover on cover, so we've got a little bit of extra room here, and then a little bit of extra room on the top, a little more. Width is going to be pretty much the same. Cover on cover doesn't add too much width, but there's that. You get a little extra room in there. And then, last but not least, the Chic Sparrow. So here's this one. With the Hobonichi Weeks, I'm going to push this flush. So with the Chic Sparrow, if it's flush to the bottom, it will fit. You get a hair of extra leather on the top. There you go. Let me see if I can raise you guys up a bit. Shake you up a little bit too. Okay. So hopefully you can see a little better how that looks. It will fit without the clear cover on cover. The clear cover on cover seems to be the thing that kind of makes it overhang. Yeah, you can't see it. Okay, so there's that. So Chic Sparrow is definitely an option without the clear cover on cover. I like having the clear cover on cover for the pen loop, for the pockets. That's my personal preference. I know some people don't like it because it's like plasticky, which I totally understand, but that's just me. So let me also just go ahead and lay these out for you. So width-wise, it looks like the Rowena, the Sojourner, this one, and the Speckled Fawns is about the same width. And then the Chic Sparrow is obviously quite a bit extra on the side. So if I line it up, if I line all of them up on this edge, you can see, actually, the Speckled Fawn seems to be a little bit wider, just a hair. But the Chic Sparrow is obviously quite a good bit longer. So let me see if I go this way. No, it might just be how this lays, actually. They seem to be pretty even. If I lay it this way, you can kind of see. There we go. Yeah, so you have the most room to grow with the Chic Sparrow. As far as the height of them all, let's see. Okay, so let's do it this way. For height, you can kind of see the order they're going in. So I've got Chic Sparrow, Sojourner, and Speckled Fawns. So that's kind of where those are at. And I'll put exact measurements, but my brain doesn't like measurements, so it's easier for me to just kind of see it. So hopefully that will help you visual learners out there. So that's basically what I've got. The only other thing that I thought I would share too is this, which is also a Speckled Fawns, but I did customize this. So I asked for a certain width and a certain length, but it actually is, I think, pretty similar. Yeah, it's the same length as my other Speckled Fawns, but it is a bit taller. And that was just so I could slip the weeks in the back pocket rather than have it on elastics, because I didn't get interior elastics in this one. So that is another option as well, because Speckled Fawns will, you know, do some customizations for you if you message them on Etsy. I can't speak to the other ones because I haven't tried. I don't think Chic Sparrow does custom orders like that. I don't know. I think Rowena will. Don't quote me on that though, because I haven't tried or anything and I don't know for sure. But yeah, so those are the different B6 Slims that I currently have. If there are other makers out there, I'd love to hear about them. If you guys have any personal favorites that you really like for traveler's notebooks for your weeks, I would love to hear about those. If you have any other questions, I hope I kind of covered everything that there was to cover as far as these comparisons. This is kind of my first real comparison video, so I apologize if I missed something that would have been important. But yeah, just please leave me a question in the comments below and I'll definitely get back to you about it. I hope this was helpful for you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!